Hi, it's Kathy Lewis here. I'm standing on the foreshore of the River Thames on a May evening. Across the river from me you can see the Globe Theatre, and then if we go round to the right hand side up the river, the strongly illuminated bridge is Blackfriars, where the location of course of Philippa's Hall of Revels. And if we go back down the river past the Globe again, the next bridge is London Bridge, and beyond that is the Tower of London and Greenwich and Gravesend, and then the sea. I'm going to read a piece for you from Ringed Castle. It's at the end of the book when Lyman thinks he is able to return to Russia. The barge which Don Juan had commanded for Mr. Crawford and his 5 friends was a fine one, with a gay canopy and 8 oarsmen in livery who made the boat fly after its shadow in the ripe evening sunlight so that it shot London Bridge like a greyhound. It also held, between the canopy and the rowers, a captain and 4 armed militiamen. The King of Spain was anxious to speed his embarrassing guests toward Russia. But Gravesend, 24 miles off, was not to be compassed in an evening. Just short of Greenwich, as the first riverside lights were spiralling down through the water, the portside rowers began pulling hard for the right bank, and the captain, leaning over with deference, indicated to Mr. Crawford from Russia that lodging had been arranged here for his party that night. Mr. Crawford from Russia, in the midst of a white-hot, furious quarrel which had lasted all the way from Westminster, acknowledged the information and continued in an undertone to issue commands to his subordinates. Fergie Hoddam, for the 500th time, said, "Yes, we hear you, but if a man says he's going to Muscovy, how do you mean to impede him?" "You are not going," Lyman said. "No one is going but myself. You can get off the boat here, and you can spend the night, if you wish, at the King of Spain's expense, and then you can go to the devil. But you are not boarding the Primrose, any of you." As the sky darkened, the lights on either bank became suddenly stronger. The rowers, shipping oars, were drifting gently towards a low landing stage. Behind them, another boat was coming to shore. "Anyway," Guthrie said, "if you can go to Russia with impunity, why should we be less adequate?" The other boat, swinging across, appeared to be heading straight for them. The captain of the royal barge, confident in the power of his gilded prow and 3 silken banners, gave a cursory shout. The other boat barely altered direction. Lyman said, "I am exceedingly tired of this argument." "So," said Guthrie, "are we." He was looking over his shoulder. Immediately, it seemed, the other barge, not quite as large as their own, moved quickly forward and hung floating side by side with the barge from Westminster. An outburst of shouting exploded. It was too neat to be quite accidental. Lyman leapt to his feet. He had backed weaponless, one hand on the struts of the canopy, when someone seized him from behind and someone else from the side. In the rocking boat, 2 might have failed to hold him, but when a third hard body flung itself on him, helped by another, and yet another, the combined weight was enough to dislodge him. Francis Crawford was dragged from his barge and thrown headlong into the other boat, while his assailants, jumping, landed on top of him. Then the second boat, pushing off, fled with its captive across the dark water.